Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Nana and you're welcome to Nana's Space. Before we get into it, I want to say thank you to all who have watched, liked, shared, subscribed to my channel. I'm currently reviewing New Amsterdam season 4. I had to think about that, season 4. And this episode is titled Harmoney. So season 4, episode 6. Right, let's get into it. I would like for once to start off with the tripod. Lynn, Dr. Baptiste and Floyd. Can I just say how much I love how petty Dr. Baptiste got? Like, I was here for all of it. So we start off with Floyd, Lynn and Dr. Baptiste having breakfast, lunch, coffee, no idea. Talking about their union. How Lynn and Floyd didn't think of telling Dr. Baptiste about their relationship, not because he wasn't aware that she's in an open relationship, but that he wasn't aware that it was with Floyd. And some revelations came in, you know, the fact that Dr. Baptiste opened up the marriage because he loved Lynn so much that she thought that he thought that she wanted this. Didn't think he was going to fall in love. And I don't think he was ready for sharing with any guy, let alone Floyd. And I like the waiter. I think the sun is coming in. I do apologize for the changing light. But I like what Dr. Baptiste, his facial reaction when the, bear with me. I think this is much better. The sun was just peeking too so much. So I like his reaction when the waiter came and said, "Oh, we don't have 3 pies, we've only got 1 pie, but do you like to share?" And he was like, well, let's not get into sharing at the moment. We are sharing all our toys, but not our pies, okay? So that was his reaction. Then it all seemed like the coast was clear. Things are in the open. Let's live in harmony. That was said twice or 3 times. One by Lynn, Dr. Baptiste. And then they got onto the, shop floor, as it were, went on to work. And Dr. Baptiste was literally honoring Floyd like any other. Like, he was lauding his superiority over him for the cases. And it was like, but that's my patient. And he was like, but I'm your boss, so you do what I say. And I found that quite hilarious. Like, I was like, that petty, yes. He deserved what was coming. He should have thought about this before he went into it. Really, it shouldn't be happening. If you ask me, someone's gonna get hurt, as I said before, and it's definitely gonna be Floyd. Because it doesn't look like Dr. Baptiste is about to leave Lynn for Floyd. Clearly not. It's not gonna leave his wife to give to this dude who came out of nowhere. And as I've seen in someone's comment from my previous video, that Floyd's mother, wherever she is, she needs to wake up and come and check her son, because something ain't right. Something ain't right. And Dr. Baptiste is not happy about it, and they shouldn't force it, really. Something ain't right. So I'm going to move from them to Max and Helen, who are walking and having this very deep conversation about the fact that they've not really done what typical couples do. Go on a date, get to know each other a bit better. They went from colleagues and friends to lovers, which, I didn't see it that way, because it came across as you guys were doing more than being colleagues and friends all along. You had a thing for each other for so long. It just now become material for all of us to see. So in that conversation, we got to know about the fact that Max's dad had divorced a mum. Mum is in Arizona. Dad is not a nice guy. Mum is married to another person who's nice. And needless to say, they're not going to Arizona or meeting Dad anytime soon. So Helen asked this question, when am I going to meet your parents? And then Max asked this question, what would you like Luna to call you? And Helen was like, I don't want to take away from the fact that Mommy is Georgia and Mommy is not here. And while they were having that conversation, an ambulance literally flew by. It was going that fast and crashed. So they all got in the hospital. There was a patient in there who had fever, but somehow it didn't need hospital via ambulance, and somehow they brought him in. And the driver was a bit bruised, and the EMT was also injured. And it turns out that Fuertes, trying to make some money, arranged for them to be competitive, because these ambulances are outsourced privately, so they need to make money from somewhere. And that money, it could bring in more patients in. So even if you don't need it, you're going to come in and they're going to make money out of you. So Max got really angry because he'd been there before, seeing an ambulance crash and him losing his wife over an ambulance crash. So he wasn't here for this time round. And he was not happy that Fuertes was involved in this. But they resolved this solution amicably, which I was quite surprised that Fuertes was happy with this arrangement. That Max will buy more ambulances for the hospital so they didn't have to outsource it to anyone private to make money out of it. What intrigued me? Was Fuertes' cunning way of letting Bloom know that, hey lady, I know what you did last night. I know what you did with Money and Layla, and if you don't want Layla to know, you better be giving us more money. In a nutshell is what she said. She alluded to the fact that she knew there's a money that has come to them and was wondering why the money had come to them, and does Layla know about this money, and if not, can you make more donations and let's keep Layla out of it. It was very, very the slippery slope. Lauren, be careful. This was a mirror image example of when you hide things. So the ambulance driver was hiding the dispatch call that proved that this patient didn't really need an ambulance. He was hiding it. And Bloom was adamant that, hey, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. And when it dawned on her that it was his fault, she was speechless. And she's doing the same thing with Fuertes. Come clean with Layla and let Fuertes go, because you're going to bankrupt your mom's money, your inheritance. You're going to bankrupt yourself if you go with Fuertes' arrangement. And how dirty Fuertes did Helen. So there's this child who has sickle cell, and she has some complications with it that requires some imaging of some sort regularly, and that was cancelled because of COVID, and the money was reallocated for somewhere else. And Helen did that. She realized that, she was very upset about it, went to Fuertes and said, look, can we reinstate this? I do apologize for how I've treated in the past. Can we reinstate this and bring this, so that people can be saved? What Fuertes did was went and cancelled another important part of the oncology service to pay for, or to redirect the funds to what Helen wanted. So she, in essence, robbed Paul to pay Peter. She didn't really do anything jack all important about it, which was so annoying because Helen was ticked off. And then we get to, I'm going to jump to the end with this one. We get to the bathroom scene. This was very sweet. This was probably the sweetest part of the whole show. Like, it was so sweet. So Max was brushing his teeth with Luna. They were talking about what to do, as father and daughter bonding. And Helen was in the bedroom, I think she was, because you could see her in the mirror. Was in the bedroom, and Max asked Luna, whose toothbrush is this? Whose toothbrush is this? Daddy? And then whose toothbrush is it? And then Luna was like, Helen. And then he was like, how we call mommy, and we need to find a special name for Helen. And Luna was like, Mom, Luna was like, why? And then Max was like, because mommy is in heaven, but Helen is here, and we need to give her a name. And then Max was like, do you know what we call mommy in England? And Luna was like, no. And Max was like, mum. So M-U-M is how we pronounce it here on the side of the equation. It reminded me of when he was trying to talk to Helen after her 6-hour flight in a seat that would not recline. And Max was trying to tease or, be jovial with Helen about the word mum, like how you pronounce it. And Helen was like, I'm talked out, we're not going to have this. And that's, snowballed into them getting together, and then here we are. So it's like a really, really cool foreshadow. Like, he knows how to pronounce mum the British way. He's got a British wife, he's got a British woman in his life, and he wants her child to call her mum. So M-U-M for Helen, because she's from England and she's here. And M-O-M-M-Y, mommy, is the American pronunciation for Georgia, who's in heaven. So you got 2 mums. One is here, one's not here. And it was so sweet. And you could see how Helen was so touched by it. That it wasn't coming from her trying to impose her motherhood or motherness onto the child. But it was a father who was seeing and recognizing the need for one in Luna's life. Now, I was reading comments and people were like, I'm not really sure how soon it is to be introducing Luna and calling her mum. I'm torn because Luna's first smile with anyone was with Helen. Helen have known Luna since she was born. It's just Max was not allowing that relationship to exist or coexist because it would mean admitting to the fact that he is in love with her and he doesn't want to go there. So we've known this relationship. It will be cool to see the two of them bond, Helen and Luna. And I was reading online about the director who talked about how sweet Ryan has been with the twins who play Luna, and encourage them and help them say their lines in a way that is meaningful and it's organic. And it came through the screen. It's probably one of the cutest things on screen, and we cannot wait for mommy, daughter bond or tea parties or tea times or princess parties or fairy parties. I cannot wait for the cuteness overload. I want to know how grandparents will feel about it though. That's what I want to know. So next week is coming. I've not seen the preview. All I saw was Helen holding Max's hand and it was sat. And on the board it says New Amsterdam login and password, and people are busy decoding the password. I cannot stop laughing. Like, someone said 47 meant they season 5 episode 22 something, and they've had a baby and the baby weighed 8 pounds. For the life of me, the mathematicians online got me in stitches. I was laughing so hard. If you've not seen it, look at the caption. It's Helen and Max sitting in front of a whiteboard, and on the board has a password on there, and someone has screenshotted the password, and the statisticians and the mathematicians are going ham at it, literally going ham at it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm here for the damn fam. Like, the Twitter damn fams are hilarious. They literally make so many different memes that cracks me up so much. It's fun. It's a great form of escapism, compelling television. I'm here for it. Get the conversation going. I can see people commenting and having a conversation going in the previous episode. People are not here for Floyd and Floyd, and neither am I. But let's get the conversation going. Let's see where things get with this new episode. And until then, I will see you on the next one. Bye.